fuck you, Tony. Got a group of failures and they're all my friends. Got a group of drinks and the bottles never end. And the night's gotta rock, gotta roll, and they got to fun. In the heart of no morals, babe, well, you're gonna get stuck.
All right, thank you guys again for tuning in to Joint Narcissism. As always, it's me, Tony motherfucking Rager, and with me again on this beautiful Monday evening in Southern California on the 3rd of April, 2017. It is officially none of your time business. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I try to be silly. It didn't really work. And I got Whiteman with me.
How you guys doing?
About this $100 bottle of Glenfiddich. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's like a really, really better version of that cheap Clan McGregor.
I don't even put that in the same context. It's not even in the same league.
Dude, I bought a bottle. It was last week. Last week I drank like half of the bottle. I was sad because one of my customers died, and I seen his cousin at Stater Brothers, and he doesn't speak English, and he was trying to tell me, but I was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, I know you from cleaning the pools, and I was like, yeah, I clean his pool, Ramon's pool, yeah. And then he did something with Ruby caught. I didn't catch. When she was saying, like, he did this, like, he died. And she was like, I think he was trying to tell you he died. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then the next day, I see a GoFundMe for him online. I felt like shit, dude. I felt like a piece of shit. So I got drunk and...
I hear you, man. I hear you. That's the first thing a lot of people turn to is the booze for depression. It doesn't really help, though. There's those levels of booze. It's like that first level, it gets you where you need to be because that serotonin's released, and then you're like, oh, I'm happy, I'm better. Mm-hmm. But the longer you drink, the worse the depression gets.
Yeah, because
there comes a stage where you just crash, and then it's even worse. You've even pulled me off, not pulled me off the ledge, but I mean, I've been really, like that one time we were having a party, and you came through, and I got a call that one of my buddies had passed away.
Yeah.
And I was out in the fucking lawn crying my brains out because
it's sad, man.
It sucks, yeah.
It's sad that he's a really cool guy. He was into drugs and stuff, but he was still a cool guy, and he worked. He always had a house, nice cars. He's Puerto Rican, and he talked like a Puerto Rican, but he was really cool. He always offered me a job to work for him. Good money, like $130 a day driving a truck. I always turned it down every time. Great guy. He offered to help me with a car from his lot that he works at on payments. He's like, yeah, just come down, I'll hook you up. And then I didn't go to his house that week to clean his pool because a lot of times no one's there, and they're dogs. They're the big giant pit bulls. So I just don't go. And then I find out he's dead, dude. I was sad. I felt like a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
Even though I had nothing to do with it, it's still,
Well, you should. You shouldn't feel like a piece of shit. I just mean...
I feel like a piece of shit because I wasn't paying enough attention.
Right.
I wasn't listening.
Well, that's denial and everything else. And we, as I think as humans, we always think that what's something I could have done to maybe help him do this or that. And
yeah, there's always
the biggest
something,
thing.
Man.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just to remember,
That's very true, and a lot of people don't understand that legacy is the human condition. That's why we do what we do. Aside from getting pussy and breeding, is legacy. We want to be.
We care about each other.
We want to be immortal, and we don't want to be immortal for the wrong reason. And a lot of times that includes the teachings of Buddha. Is the best way to live a fulfilled life is because it's a completely selfless life, and you find happiness through it. But we don't. It's almost impossible to live that kind of lifestyle these days in California, unless you're a millionaire or you're a bum. It's almost impossible. Not saying it isn't possible. I'm just saying it's almost impossible.
We live in a really weird state right now.
It's scary, the state that we live in right now. Like they're talking about splitting California in half.
Yeah.
And it's not even in half, dude. It's just taking the richest part of California and cutting it off from the poor part. Literally, I saw the fucking diagram, what they planned on. It's like, all of us rich fucks don't want to be a part of you guys. Like, fuck you, man. What's going to happen to the West California?
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I think...
East, my bad. I got my...
At the same time, I think our government is putting its citizens in a tough situation because a lot of the people that want to stay here, that want, more of the same free stuff and high taxes and everything else, they might not necessarily contribute too much to that freedom, But what's happening right now, there's a big exodus of big, huge companies leaving our state.
And it's because there's
Reno has actually had a huge influx of like some of the technologists,
like the Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's like the new Silicon Valley over there. I know Elon Musk just opened something up over in Reno because they're paying like out the ass in taxes.
This is the highest tax state in the U.S.
Like 13.3%, and the second place is like 9.2 or something.
Every
higher.
item, and they're talking about raising a 12 cents or is it 15 cents, something like that, tax on gas.
They just raised $2 on cigarettes and other tobacco products.
That's fine with me. When it comes to that stuff that's detrimental to our health, good, tax it. We should be allowed to do what we want. We know
technically
we know the risk and benefit.
Is gas detrimental to our society then? I think it is.
It is detrimental economically, and that is it. Economically, that's the only thing that's detrimental about gas. That's what led to a bet like Bryson, shine some light on me when it comes to fracking and drilling and oil and all this stuff. Why it's important, why we can't just shut it off, and what shutting it off led to. And that's why I am, I'm not full on deregulate everything. Yeah. I'm not because the idea that the free market will take care of itself, I don't believe that, because it's not taking in account for the ugliness of human nature,
right?
The greed. And manipulation and corruption. And I think that
that's where we're at in California right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then look where we're at.
It's like we have a bunch of millionaires, then we have a bunch of poor folks. Yeah, and the middle class is struggling here. We're the ones that are paying a ton of taxes.
I try to live middle class, but I make poverty.
Think about this. There's an interesting stat. I know it's kind of on a side note, but there's an interesting stat. I can't remember where I got it from. It's probably some other podcast where they said if you make $35,000 a year, you're still in the top 1% of the world.
Yeah, 36. It's 36 now. It went up. Adjustment, inflation.
But still, that means that I'm in the top 1% of all
of the whole world.
Of the whole world. And that makes sense if you're talking about India, China, Mexico City, with all that poverty.
If you look at it in perspective of the world, of course, man. Your family's not dying from dysentery, from drinking shitty water. You got a shelter, you got running water, you got electricity, you got plumbing, you have a job, you have vehicles, you have food in your fridge. Granted, it's not amazing. You don't own a boat.
But we're rich.
But you're rich.
As an American, you are
I'm rich. I'm very rich compared to the rest of the world, and I'm still unhappy with my situation. It's the human condition. We're never going to be satisfied.
We want to get better. I think the key to being happy is that when you make a little bit extra money, don't go crazy. Live in moderation. Like right now, I'm doing really well, but that's because me and Shelby, my wife, don't go fucking ham. We don't go crazy. Like, I paid into a bunch of debt when I got a bunch of money recently from the VA, and now I'm living really good because I don't have any debt anymore.
The PX cards, was that your debt?
Some of it was.
I was telling Rui about what you would do with that, how you survived that while after.
I had to.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah, I told her. I still never applied for that shit.
That's
one thing I'm gonna do is go to the VA and see what benefits I have.
Yeah.
See, because I was hearing some shit. That I could still possibly have some GI Bill left.
Have something because you were reservist. It's gonna be a lot less.
Yeah. I know. I'm not expecting
if anything, because I'm not knocking your veteran status at all. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying I went to war.
There's definitely tiers.
Yeah, and it has to go with the time served, and that's a lot of.
That's the biggest thing is time served. Because if you were a reservist and you did 6 months, in country, whether it was Kuwait, it didn't have to be combat. If it was like Kuwait,
as long as it was active duty,
you're a veteran.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's during time of war, and you are logistically providing support to the combat front.
Yeah.
So,
and that's part of the main reason why I wanted out. Why I gave up. Right when you joined, right in 2013, it was around the time you joined, I put my name on that list to go.
I also think if you're in the rear, while parts of your company are forward, that counts as well because you're on the back burner in case.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a reserve.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's why I need to go and see what I can get because I heard that
It's a very finicky,
you can pull a scam.
Finicky
You can pull
system.
You can pull a scam with like let's say a Valley or a vocational. You can if there is a GI, you can go to a school and they provide you a BAH and all that stuff. But I'm pretty confident that I don't qualify for that.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
This is on the side note of that. Everybody is like, because when I told people this, and they're the first thing they say, "Oh, Trump, it's because Trump, it's because Trump," and I'm like, I'm not the biggest Trump fan, but I will say, 2 months after he got in office, I got my stuff. Like, I don't know what happened or why it ended up that way, but I'm not going to attribute my benefits actually coming into our new president, but maybe.
He's like, I like that last name.
I like Whiteman. That sounds like a good American. A bigly huge American.
Get him his money.
Get him his money.
You're fired.
But the jokes aside, it helped. It's changed my life already. I'm gonna buy a house this year.
It's good.
And it is good. I just
Are you getting out of San Bernardino?
I'm gonna do whatever I can do. Every wealthy friend that I have says, buy your house wherever you can buy a house. Just get money because now you're worth something.
Yeah. Because
like,
traditionally,
I have
land ownership is a true American
own shit. And we're not talking about cars or stuff. We're talking about property.
Land.
Right.
If you own land, you're considered a real American.
home, and that's all you can afford. Get that shit. If somebody will give you a loan for it, get that stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I was thinking.
Whatever you can get in where you fit in.
I'm strategizing on ways to increase my income and try to maintain the same lifestyle.
Yeah,
so hard though, man.
It is.
And you know, I started making mine. I sent you the resume when I was making it, dude. I had the hardest time. Like it is asking me for shit, and I was just like, fuck. I don't really know what to put down. Like I don't feel like
I need you to get me another email it to me.
Yeah, I got it on the computer.
So I can hand it. I'll hand it, like we were talking about. If that's what you want to do, because you have to make your decision.
I know. And
I know when we were talking, and this was aside, what we're talking about right now is he inquired about a position that might be open at where I work. And the funny thing is, he had this position a long time ago.
Yeah.
But life went where it went, and he's happy where he's at. But right now, things changed, and he wants to try to mix it up again. And I don't blame him, because this job is not what he wants to do, but it significantly will change his life for the better for his children and his old lady. And
it'll make
you have to put some things on the back burner a little, but I was in the same position you were 2 years ago, and now I'm doing way better.
Yeah,
and 2 years is a small price to pay for
I really want to do that arrest class, but there's no logistically, man, that is crazy.
Well, get in and then do it and then get up, because we still need that one spot there that I'm talking about where he needs this specific certificate is what he's talking about. And then for that first class, you don't need nothing but CPR, first aid, and AD, and you can knock that out in 8 hours. So that's like $60.
Yeah.
So you can do that anywhere, and that's the only thing you'll need, and you can get hired.
Do you think?
You need that card the first day you're there.
I was thinking
if you have that right now and say, "Oh, I got this already,"
it'd be a bigger up.
Probably hire you.
Yeah, it'd be a bigger up. Man, do you think they would be able to stick me in on nights, and only nights?
No.
It has to be flexible.
But granted, think of it this way: the senior guys are going to want to work days anyway, so it might work out in your favor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some guys work days.
Because I could keep this job.
The day shift is 6:15 to 14:45, and then the night shift is 14:45 to 23:15.
Yeah. I was thinking another thing is I could keep both jobs. Work this job in the morning, work that job at night.
This one's super flexible, you could do it either way.
Yeah.
If you had a day, because you're going to have day shifts and swings. You're going to.
Yeah, it is super flexible. As long as the pools are clean by the end of the week.
Talk to somebody and just say, dude, I will always work swing for you if you want to work day. And they'll be like, hell yeah. There's people there that want to do that. So.
Yeah, I'm going through this phase right now.
Like I said, get in where you fit in.
I'm trying to figure that part out.
Mold it around. And it is frustrating, because I was frustrated too.
Yeah.
But the store can burn you out.
I know. Trust me.
Yeah. We live in San Bernardino, and essentially what the base position at the store security is for Stater Brothers is different though.
Mm-hmm.
It pays way good. If you're gonna do security anywhere, you might as well do it for Staters because you don't need to be armed, and it pays you like $18 an hour. It's really nice, and the benefits are amazing. It's Kaiser.
See, that's the main thing is the benefits.
That's like an additional $12 an hour.
See, that's nothing. See, my thing is.
So you're essentially making like $30 an hour.
If I could get benefits through this job, and let's say if I made $700 a week at this job, which would mean I would work 60, 70 pools a week, which is doable, but it's not doable when I have to stay home, watch the baby until Ruby gets home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I have to also account for what if I do get a full-time job and I can't stay home with the kid and Ruby still has to work. Well, then now I have to fork up $500 a month for childcare.
It's expensive.
And so now I'm weighing $500 a month. That's like basically what I'm making now.
Shelby wants to go back to work after maternity leave, but right now we can afford her not to, and I'm strongly thinking of just saying like, hey, just stay.
Yeah. That's a tough one though, because if that's what she wants. I didn't tell you this.
They not only gave me that $14,000, they reinstated.
Oh, so you're going to be getting more money?
No, I got my first check March 1st to March. They gave me $500, and that's it for the rest of my life.
That's good cushion money, man.
That's shit.
That's good cushion money.
Fuck, that plus all my debt that I don't have anymore. I'm making like $1,200 more a month now.
Yes, and that's
a mortgage. That's why I'm going to be in a house soon.
Dude,
but the thing is, when you guys pay this much into your debt, it takes a while for your credit score to the ebb and flow, the waves and crests of the whatever your debt, your credit score, and
it just sucks that we have to do that.
For me, it is a pain in the ass, but that's where we live in. That is because corporations own everything,
fucking everything. Well, I mean, they do.
Yeah,
they really do. They really do own everything. People don't understand that. Mm-hmm. People don't look at it, and they don't follow the money. And then conspiracy theorists always say, "Follow the money, follow the money."
Quite a long time. The biggest reason is because I just had a baby. I did tell him. I think on the last podcast I was like, "So it's going to be a while before I can see you again." And I'm on vacation right now, so I was like, "You know what? I'm going to knock out probably a cast or two while I'm on vacation." And Shelby's been super cool right now because right now she has both the girls, and she's been great, man.
She's handling well. My ex-wife had a baby the week before too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and we had a plan. She had a plan for Charlie's birth, my new daughter, Charlotte, and
that's my pig's name also.
It all went different because when we got to the hospital, she was already 8 centimeters.
Dude, so Naomi.
She couldn't have drugs.
It came out, right? Same thing happened with Naomi, dude.
In that's 20 minutes weird. Pushing, and it was straight out.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's weird. That's part of the reason why I believe in horoscopes and astrology and shit. Because there are similarities in people that are born in the same astrological signs. There are a lot of similarities. Like if you ask anybody about Scorpios, sex freaks. Everybody knows Scorpios are horny sex freaks. Granted, it's probably everybody.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. I was gonna say a lot of those things are pretty generally like vague as hell.
Yeah, there's dominant though. Like dominant characteristics.
Leo all day, and it says you're tough, but you're mean, and you're happy,
and
but
you're
you breathe,
soft,
and you like to eat food every day. I like to eat food every day.
I knew it was right.
I knew it was right.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So you were having a Facebook political debate about ICE versus fucking Nazis. So this thing, I didn't really want to debate. It's hard,
but
on Facebook, man.
It was because I've been staying off of Facebook and being political for a while.
Me too.
But people are trying to legitimately compare ICE and booting out illegal immigrants to the Nazis and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, this is way different. And these are some of my friends that I really value their input and their intelligence, but I didn't directly call anybody out because I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
But I said, listen, and I think my last quote was, how many ICE agents have executed men, women, and children in the streets of the United States?
Yeah.
And that's a big fucking zero. And not to mention, the rise of Hitler's power is nothing like Trump. The biggest thing that they can say is, oh, he played on people's fears. But do not all presidents do that? Isn't that the goal? Like, hey, we don't want this problem with the economy. That's a fear. We don't want this problem with immigration. That's a fear.
Yeah.
Obama did it. Clinton did it. Hillary Clinton did it just a different way.
Yeah.
They were playing on the fears of the poor folks, the Democrats, right?
Of their
constituency. They were playing on the fears of them. So don't come at me and say, oh, Trump came to power because he's just saying all of our problems are Mexicans, because that's not what he said.
Economically is a major problem.
It is
economically.
a problem.
Economically. Now, I don't. Now,
and there was a video circulating where ICE is arresting a father and his kid is crying in the yard. You've seen that? And another kid is videotaping and say, this is what fucking Trump gets you. And I said, no, that's what he got him. Yeah. Illegal immigration has been the law in the United States forever. Yeah. Like, this isn't new. This isn't Trump's law. It's just, it wasn't enforced. Not to mention Obama deported more Mexican Americans than any other president in history. Yeah. But people forget these facts. Like, I say something all the time, like, people that are led by emotion have no use for facts, because they're not going off of facts. They're going off of emotion.
And that's the whole liberal alt left.
I think, but there's a catch-22, because that passion is why America is great.
Yeah,
but we got to channel it in the right direction. And as long as like I tell people, okay, so what's the option? 100% open borders? And
that's a no-go.
No. Not for terrorists, but just for Mexicans. And I'm like, wait a sec, what?
Yeah,
what? That's not. You can't just pick and choose. Like, if you wanted to, I think on average, if you cut up all the,
I'm gonna turn off the air.
Yeah, I can hear it. All the people make less than $2. Of all the people in the world in poverty, they make less than $2 a day. And we couldn't afford. We simply not afford, emotionally, or we couldn't afford it figuratively, but literally we can't afford it. America could not afford to bring in the immigrants from every single country with the open policy. Another thing I tried to point out was, if you could name to me a single person that was deported right now that is a great contributor to their community and their society, you'll change my opinion. And nobody has been able to.
Well, there have been some.
I
can't give
I know there.
I've seen it,
but my point is, there is a huge disparity between the right people that are getting kicked out getting kicked out.
Yeah.
That dude on that video, he had warrants and he was a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't for holding dope. It wasn't for holding marijuana. It was legitimate crimes.
Yeah. I think,
and so it's not Trump that's kicking you out. You chose to come here and do this to your family. We didn't chose nothing. We're just enforcing our laws. You knew the laws were this tough, and you know what? It's
that's why they came here illegally,
right?
And
I also bounce off another point that how much money do you need to pay the United States to come into the United States?
I think it's $10,000.
That is fucking way lower than what Mexicans need to pay their government to come over. I've had some people tell me they need to pay upwards of $100,000 US.
That's a lot of money
for a poor person, and that's their corruption on their side.
Yeah. And I mentioned this. I made a post the other day that if we declared war on the cartels, even though they're mixed in with the fucking government, of course, there's corruption. But if America was a just big brother, a just police system of the world, they would go after the cartels. They would go after the Somali.
That was a great point.
I said,
if you end corruption in their country, they can stay in their country.
They wouldn't want to leave.
No, it's a great
because
country.
Mexico's great, and they have a lot of resources.
I've been there a ton of times.
They're very rich in resources, just like we are.
My grandfather is Mexican. He came over and became a millionaire. He came over illegally, granted. I mean, that's on the other side of my argument, but the point is, he didn't. I think at that same criminal I was telling you about that got deported, he was getting 80% of his income from the state while contributing 5% of his taxes. 5%
that's not okay.
Taxes. That is not okay.
That's not okay. And see, people don't they only look through the lens of their heart and the good fucking everybody's the same, we're all the same, but we're all different. Everybody deserves the same thing. I think what liberals literally I think what liberals literally think is the United States has an open border, and that it is the law to allow all immigration, any immigration, Always.
No.
I don't think that they understand that, like, even Ellis Island was essentially a concentration camp. Only the ones that were legit got through. Everyone else that
San
came.
San Francisco side was definitely close.
Everyone else.
What was that island called?
Ellis? Oh, I don't know.
San Francisco.
I don't
That's
know.
from the we got our eastern.
Yeah. This is like the Japan motherfuckers and shit.
Right.
But people don't understand that people that came here illegally were detained and held on Ellis Island. They were held there.
Vetted.
And they got vetted.
Just like,
they checked their fucking family tree. Okay, your grandmother is this person. Okay, yeah, she's here. Okay, you're good.
I put a post up the other day that said, and it was completely rhetorical. I said, hey guys, I'm looking at getting a babysitter, and do you think I should vet them or not?
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, what are you talking about? You should absolutely vet them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know.
Yeah.
Of course you should. Why? Because you want to feel fucking safe.
Yes. And another thing that's fucking killing me that should be the most terrifying thing in the world. And this thing that these SJWs fell for, this Trojan horse of liberalism about I lost it.
You're not hearing.
I was on.
were on.
Right when I said liberalism.
You got a little bit of indigestion and your brain shut down.
You saw me stop and be like,
I was going to say, I ask people all the time that are really, really, really adamant about open borders. I ask them, why don't you take in some of these people?
I remember now.
And I tell them right this. The reason you don't take in these immigrants is one of two things: cost or fear.
Yeah.
And the reason you don't do that is the same exact reason that anybody that's on my side is the same thing. We can't afford it, or I'm afraid. And I'm not afraid like I'm a pussy. I can handle my own. I can take care of my family.
It's the unknown that you're afraid of, because if you don't know, you can't handle it.
Look what's happening in Europe. That shit is ridiculous.
And the media is controlling the public opinion.
It is. That's true.
And although today we live in a day and age, where we can literally see the videos of all the crazy shit that's happening over there, and yet the media will still say nothing's going on over there. Like Switzerland. The Swedish motherfuckers, these motherfuckers are advertising and saying that nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. There is nothing going on here. When they let in over 160,000 immigrants, probably more by now, and only 500 of them got jobs or something stupid like that. And then they're going to say that hundreds of thousands of people living on welfare in a socialist country that come from a war-torn country that believe what they believe, that nothing's going on. That just makes no sense, because they're dismissing human nature. They're getting rid of inherent human nature. We suck, and we need to accept that fact that we are not all fucking honky-dory fucking rainbows and unicorns. No, they're like, I don't know, did you listen to my Here Kitty Kitty episode?
I don't know, maybe.
I did a commentary on it, like an Animal Planet. I was like commenting on Animal Planet.
I don't think I did.
Well, there was a part where it's about lions, and it's called the Lion Brotherhood, and they basically hunted together and they worked together to kill buffaloes. And then there was this one part where they were following like impalas and like those tiny African deers with the little tiny horns, and the impalas, those tiny deer and baboons were living in a multicultural environment because they had a common cause. They worked together to eat. And then if a lion showed up, they warned him. They warned everybody, and the lion disappeared because he's like, these motherfuckers already know there's no point in chasing them because they're going to get away.
Right.
If you compare humans to each and every individual human species, or our cultures, not even races or anything, but if you equate our cultures, Islamic, that's the Lion Brotherhood. There's only one way. They don't live in unison with anyone else. They hunt and they kill and they survive. That's all they do. You got other animal cultures that work together. They have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these baboons warning all the deer that are around that there's lions rolling up. Like that's basically America. So let's say one lion tricks a deer, makes it feel like it's his friend, comes in, kills everybody. That's basically Islam. People don't understand that this isn't a race war. It's not a religion war. It's a cultural war. Islam wants to come.
It's a brutal fucking.
They want to change our culture,
dude.
They want to change our American belief system, and that's not okay.
They want to come to us and keep their ways.
Yes, and that's not
Teddy
okay.
Roosevelt said, if you get in here and you're not changing, you're not on board with our system, you need to bounce.
That's
He's one of my favorite presidents of all time, and him and Reagan, Teddy Roosevelt and Ronald Reagan. If you're coming over here.
Which one? Franklin was the handicap one, right?
Well,
Teddy wasn't.
He ended up becoming handicapped.
Yeah, okay. Because he was actually
Teddy
cool.
was a badass.
He Franklin. Yeah, he was actually cool with Stalin.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, they were actually friends, and then when he died, Truman came in and fucked it all up, and then that's why this whole Russia thing started. And I get. Look, I've been binging all of them, everything I can watch, all of it, and it makes sense now. The only way to defeat this radical Islamic terrorist takeover of the world is for us to team up with Russia. It's the only way. It's the only way, because everything else is EU. EU is being overtaken by fucking Islamic terrorism, Islamic law, Islamic policies.
Their religion has been hijacked.
Yes.
Because I do believe, like, if there's any listeners out there and you haven't done any like research, the religion at its core is still, like many others, is just be kind to other people and do this. Some of their texts are old school, but let me tell you this, the fucking Bible until we had 2.0 was the same fucking way, fellas.
Yeah.
And, the Old Testament was very ruthless, very much the same as the Quran is. They just didn't do a 2.0. What is it? The Catholic Church or someone? They was like, hey, we need to lighten this up so we don't scare so many folks. Or Christianity did. Either way, it's the same thing. Anyway, it was hijacked by a few people, and they just spit hate.
It's crazy, and then it's
brutal, man. There was a video I saw where a woman was very cold, so she burned pages out of the Quran, and she ended up being beaten and stoned to death and ripped apart. But the police were there trying to protect her, but the mob got so fucking crazy, like savage hyenas at a fucking wounded gazelle, and they just literally ripped her apart with their bare hands after beating her with rocks because she tried to stay warm because she was freezing. So she burnt some pages out of the Quran.
It's crazy.
Allegedly. They don't even know if she did it on purpose or if she actually did it. That was just a woman. They don't let them fucking drive. They don't let women drive. Yeah.
And then there was the recent
covered up completely.
There was I wouldn't mind my old lady being covered up. Nah, it would make me feel good. Now, just recently there was a suspectedly homosexual that was just killed because he was suspected to be gay. There was no fact. And that's what the left don't realize, is that when you throw rhetoric and you have a mob behind you, you're only going to get chaos.
What they're preaching is that not everybody is the same, and you're right, they're not. But the majority over there, like anybody that's never been over there like I have, you don't know. You just and I don't like to be that guy that says, well, if you never experienced it, you can't know anything, because that's not true. Everybody can
read up on it,
and you can, but I'm just saying from firsthand experience, I've seen them give their children up to a fucking cause that because they hate us so much. They have killed their own. I couldn't even fathom hurting my babies.
It wouldn't happen.
It was fucking, and I'd lose my mind. And that's why a lot of us come back from there like, what the fuck? They don't value women or children.
Well, it's because it's a commodity to them.
It's crazy. They don't value human life the same way that we do.
And see, this is the problem. I was going to say this earlier, but on the Statue of Liberty, there's a poem that it basically says, give me your weak, your downtrodden, and all these things. As long as they don't want to believe in a monarchy, a dictator, all these things. You know that, right? Like, that's basically what it is. Give us everybody.
Give me your tired, weary, huddled masses longing to be free or something.
As longing to be free. And then there was a whole longer expert, but I'm just giving you the short and easy of it. It's basically saying that if you don't want to live under a monarchy, if you don't want to live under a dictator, you want to come here and be free, you could come here, adopt our ideas and be an American and live your life the way you choose. as long as you adopt the basic American principles. And the basic American principles are the best of the best, dude.
Yeah.
The best, Trump said during his speech to Congress, his first congressional speech, that he's going to create a level playing ground. And we know that there is no level playing ground right now at all. Like if I want to start a business right now, it's not going to happen. It's not, because I'm not in the favor. And what people don't realize is that doesn't mean that creates privilege. No, what that creates is grit. Because if you truly, really want something, you're going to do what the fuck ever it takes to get it and get it done. And nothing should be handed out, because the moment things are given to us, we lose dignity, we lose pride, and then it's doomed to fail. Whatever it is, if we don't have dignity, honor, and pride, basically the basic core values of the military.
Right.
If we don't have that, it's gonna fail. It's gonna fail because there's the argument of why societies need religion. It's those basic tenets to keep society intact that we're losing right now.
Just trying to make sense of things. That's all. I think that's why religion was made. It was at a time where
it was the first science.
Yeah, we didn't understand science yet.
Yeah.
And so we said it was magic. And we always want reason and we want value. We don't want to run around like we don't know things, because that bothers us.
It does. Bothers me.
So we make these things up that give us sense in our world, or that we think gives us sense. But that particular belief system is completely bonkers. And did you ever watch that podcast of Joe Rogan and Gavin McInnes where he proved like 70% of like some of the Mideast countries have like 70% like incestual rates, which means
that's because they're all monarchies.
If you have and it said something like you have a 400% chance if you have a child with your first cousin, there's a 400% chance they will have an IQ below 70.
Yeah.
Which is like clinically
retarded
Down syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means
what if
they don't necessarily have to have Down syndrome, but their IQ is so low that they're basically primates. They're apes.
And that's why monarchies fail. That's why.
That's a very interesting. Like, that's it blew my mind too.
Everybody wants to be here in America.
It was like, and if you go to a place like where the refugees are influxing now, they're only going to breed with the people that they know. They're not going to breed with white people or black people or anything else. They're going to breed with their own people. Which
Muslims breed with black people.
And when they do this, they're gonna be more ancestral relations, and they're gonna spawn even more issues with.
Did you follow that not the most recent one that happened on the train, and I don't remember where it was, if it was London as well, but the car guy that ran over a bunch of people, and then the fucking mayor of London.
I bet if those police had sidearms, they'd have shot his ass.
The mayor of fucking London, dude. The mayor of London. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. He is a radical Islamic terrorist. He is a fucking radical Islamic terrorist.
Yeah.
He called moderate Muslims Uncle Toms. And then after that attack, he put out in the paper that this is just what you get when you live in a major city.
No, that's not true.
That's not true. He has to be a radical Islamic terrorist.
We have a ton of major cities in the United States that didn't have this issue, 30 years ago. And that's just a cop out.
I'm going to say it now. We can't allow any immigration from the extreme. Nope. No one. Only moderate Uncle Toms.
And that's another thing.
That's all we want.
Whole Hitler versus Trump thing. They're trying to compare him, the travel ban, to being Hitler.
That's just ignorant. That's just fucking dumb. Because what is it? 40? There's like 48, 45 countries, Islamic countries, and only 7 of them were
Muslim
banned.
Countries, yeah. They were trying to say it was a Muslim ban.
No, it's not. It was 7 fucking countries from radical countries.
None of them were the top countries that had the most Muslims in.
Like Saudi Arabia.
Indonesia is very high.
Dude, what people don't understand about that shit, man. There's more than one Islam, like, belief system. There's like 4 belief systems of Islam, 4 religious leaders of Islam. If If you look it up, there's 4 leaders. That's why they got like 4 kings or whatever they are. They're the leaders of that sect of Islam. And the ones that we don't want here are the Wahhabists. The ones that follow Muhammad's fucking version of Islam. Muhammad's version of Islam is conquering and governmental rule. That's what we don't want here. We don't want a religious text dictating our laws. All we need is the basics, right? The 10 Commandments, and that's basic. So
on the I'm gonna hit you with this so we can have like a conversation that's not just both of us agreeing with each other.
Okay.
Then what about the children that don't get a voice yet? What about them? What are they going to do? What should we do for that? Where's the solution? And there's nothing to do. We just let it go.
No, because the only other thing,
we don't try to help them.
The only other thing would be to try and continue the democratic policies of allowing refugees in.
Because when I was over there, and the United States was building wells and schools and giving the kids food, and there was kids out there that didn't want to fucking do this. Yeah. They wanted that Western lifestyle. Yeah,
and I agree. But here's the issue with that is you can't just bring the kids over.
No,
you got to bring the parents too. The only way to it's a long process and it's a sad process, but we need to get rid of the extremists, the Wahhabists. It can't exist in our world if we want to be realistic. If we want our world to survive and to end, wars, that's got to end. The cartel's got to end. And then we work on their policies. We allow the moderate Uncle Tom Muslims run their country. Granted, that's far-fetched, but I'm saying that's probably the only fucking way for that to go down is for us to annihilate the Wahhabists and the fucking extremists. To get rid of them hard. I know it's just, and then implement, try to re-implement a democratic type policy, but we can't interfere with their culture. If the culture doesn't call for it, then we can't do anything. And if they don't want it, then we can't do anything. And the only thing we can do is say, no, you can't come here. And then if a war starts, we wipe them out. It's just simple as that. It sucks. It's sad. There's children. They don't, like my kids don't get a choice. They don't get a choice on what they are around. Like if this place was a war zone, my daughter would probably easily pick up a gun and fight with me. But it's not something you want. No, you don't want that. So what do? We prevent that shit from fucking happening.
Here.
Yes. Because if we focus on national security, national defense.
There's a
this could be a utopia of the world.
With everybody talking about spending too much on the military.
They don't understand what they're talking about.
They think that means like we're going to put money into going to war. And that's not the idea. The idea is to build yourself up so high, nobody thinks about coming into you.
Yes.
And I think Trump is actually one of those build up the walls, stay inside, nobody else.
Yeah.
If people want our stuff, they're going to pay me.
Yes.
If you want to come over, you're going to pay me. That's
capitalist.
It's kind of like a gang mentality. Like
it's capitalist.
It's
capitalism, no?
Like, hey, you need your rent. It's due.
I mean, it makes fucking sense. If I want to immigrate to Canada, they got one of the hardest immigration policies, apparently, aside from the refugees.
Yeah.
I heard it's fucking hard to get into Canada. I don't know. I never tried to go, but I don't want to go. There's so much endless potential and possibility in this nation alone. In this nation, it's just people in the 90s and the 80s were so.
Why are we the only country everybody tries to come to?
Right? Everybody wants to come here. Granted, to us, all these bills. Oh, I'm late on my car payment. Oh, I'm fucking. I had to scrounge up change for dinner the other night.
We're drinking $100 bottle of scotch.
Right.
Talking on a radio show.
I'm smoking an insane amount of weed. I'm smoking thousands of dollars worth of weed over here, and. Only in America, motherfucker. Only in America. All right, I grow my own weed and I smoke my own weed. I drink whiskey. I have a hobby pursuit dream. I have a full-time job. I have a family, a farm in the ghetto.
In the ghetto.
In the ghetto. Nothing's possible. You just gotta have to choose and dictate what's gonna happen in your life. Like the fact that I am completely off the system makes it so that I can make any fucking decision that I want. It's so as long as I'm a contributing citizen to this world. And see, the alt left are a bunch of fucking either trust fund babies or kids from the ghetto that had good test scores that are very liberal and they lived a great, amazing life where their parents gave them safe places where they would like, okay, you can't talk to me, mom, I'm not in my room. This is my room. Like those type of kids are the ones that are fucking creating this shitstorm and making the liberal idea so wrong. Like the original liberal idea is basically conservatism.
And there's a lot of liberalism in being a libertarian. It's spawned the same word. But
basically the same word. Huh?
The sad part is today's liberals have changed. They've
morphed
into
socialist
something that
and communist
wants to be about.
Socialist and communist.
Yeah, it's social Marxism. It's damn near. They're creating fascism. Or they're trying to combat fascism with fascism.
And it's not even real fascism.
It's very hypocritical.
It's not even real fascism though.
Yeah.
They just say anything that's confrontational, that's a little bit offensive.
On the flip side of that coin, there are a lot of like alt-right that will bait that shit in just to get clicks and likes and shares and ratings. And, you know.
I use it.
It's the
same. You
same
see
thing.
it in my titles.
Yeah.
Fucking liberals. That was like our first episode. Fucking liberals. You know? But it comes down to a consciousness issue, a consciousness understanding, right? Like these motherfuckers are celebrating the hijab, right? And in America, women fight for the right to do whatever they want with their body. They have this nipple protest, like how come men don't have to hide their nipples? But yet they want to bring in Islamic law, like Sharia law. Oh, hijabs are cool, hijabis are cool, but it's not. And then you got the pedophilia that runs in that religion.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like we were taught about that, and you've seen it, and I was taught about it. Mm-hmm. That when you go overseas, you're gonna see this shit, and you're not allowed to do anything.
You gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go. You gotta watch dudes rape little boys.
You don't watch. You just leave because
you don't sit there and watch. I mean,
well, some people didn't, and I'm not gonna name any names because I can get some folks in trouble. We handle that, but
that's good.
Not to the point of murder or anything, but
just
we handled it. We handled it.
Yeah,
but. We made sure that they didn't mess with the people we liked. We made it very clear that if you messed with my group of people that I'm like purchasing things from, you're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they know words. When you have an M16 in a gay bar, you say, "You're gonna learn today." Like they learn English real quick. Like, I don't want to fuck with this guy. He's got a tattoo of a dick on his forehead. Fucking Marines are crazy.
Tattoo of a dick.
When you get out of the Marine Corps, you're either going to be a cop or do gay porn. I was like, God damn it. It's almost true.
I didn't know that.
No, that was a joke, man. Obviously.
Is that a running joke in the Marines or something?
It's just a meme I saw the other day. It's pretty damn accurate because the Marine Corps is, on the lighter side, we get really bored. Like we try to push the boundaries of being gay without actually touching anybody.
I've experienced
that. Push the boundary of the envelope.
How comfortable can you be?
Yeah. I don't know why we do it either.
Dude, when I was in basic, we did some gay shit in basic.
And then right after that, we'll go see a lady getting banged by a donkey or something. And then kill some people.
I mean, we did the goat. We did helicopters in the showers during basic, man. It's so fucked. And I was in the center of it because I'm a natural class clown. I'm a goofball. So like I would be getting ready to, after a ruck march or something, I would get into the showers. Hey, Cosner. Or they would call me SoCal because I have Southern Cali on my back. Hey, SoCal. And I'll look and this fool's doing the goat. And I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. And then I'll walk in. He'd be like, Cosner. Just fucking doing the helicopter at me. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
You dirty bastard.
But like, the average everyday, like that shit'll get you thrown off a roof in Islam.
Yeah, you'll get fucking burned at the stake for that.
You can't do that.
No, you might be able to, just as long as you're doing it to children.
It's so weird, man. The religion, you can have.
I've seen things, but I don't want to, because I know. Well, actually, I don't know any people that follow that religion that aren't like that. But I don't know many Muslims, Well, I don't know any that believe in the Sharia law. That's for sure. Except for the ones that I thought, like, I'm not friends, in real life with any of these folks. But the core to all this is religion, to be completely honest with you.
Religion and culture,
and in my opinion, if we are going to attain the knowledge that we have yet to obtain, it's going to be with the consolidation of all the world's people. And as long as we have these sects like dividing us, religion and politics and dogma and everything else, we are never going to reach the stars. We're never going to do it. And that's why, like, I don't believe in like the Axis and NATO and this and that, a bunch of different world governments. I believe in one. We should have one world government.
That is completely anti-conservatism, and it's almost damn near impossible.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying too,
that's what the Democrats are trying. That's what they've been trying for so long, and that's what led to the downfall of America's economy and our culture.
I don't think it will work, but what I'm saying
it's ideal.
Well, all socialist ideas come from the heart. Like we talked about this before. It comes from a really good place.
But they don't. But
like,
they don't take for account the ugly human natures, the ugly inherent.
That's
human
why I'm
natures.
saying is if we wanted to reach Mars. As Americans, we might not do it for a couple years. But if fucking China, Russia, and the United States put it together, we'd be there in fucking like 10 years.
And that premise, what you're talking about, is basically Independence Day Part 2. Right?
We need some tragedy. We need some aliens to come down and be like, hey, we're going to just drop a ton of dick on y'all.
Yeah, and basically all religion.
And we will figure out how to fucking...
Dude. They would break down every cultural barrier. Every religion would go out the fucking door if aliens came.
I don't know. It would be really bad for a couple years.
Yes.
Like, it'd be like, end of times. This is just God testing us. I'm like, no, fucker, they're aliens. It's not God.
It's God. It's like, we're going to send in the troops.
I don't know if you remember this, but like 20 years ago, Heaven's Gate was a thing where a bunch of people killed themselves because they believed a spaceship was coming behind the comet. Yeah. And it was like 100 and something... 150
it was a
or
cult,
160 people killed themselves.
And that
the comet passed by, nothing happened.
Yeah. We don't like I think the best way for humanity to get along is
that's a great example. And what you're saying is like a few of those people hijack those individuals' thoughts.
Yeah.
They hijack them just like a few dickheads are hijacking the Islam religion, and they're fucking it up.
And
what happened? They just died, and that's it. Their whole idea and belief system is gone now because one or two individuals hijacked the fuck out of a bunch of people that needed something.
I know that's annoying, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a fly around here.
Yeah.
And it's like the exact same thing. I feel like that religion has been hijacked by a bunch of assholes, and they're ruining it.
Yeah.
For the good ones that are here, because tried and true forever and ever, you always have that one person that fucks it up for everybody else. And that's what I feel is going on.
If there's a law and if there's a rule, that means somebody fucked it up for everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
Don't kill. Don't rape. Don't steal shit. Don't fuck your neighbor over. That's like basic shit.
Yeah, the basic 10 Commandments.
You don't need God to tell you to do those things.
You don't. I think we should take that shit out. I think we should take it out of religion and apply it to the Bill of Rights. You know, like these are the basic.
Well, it is. It's in our Constitution. You can't do those things.
The 10 Commandments. Yeah. I mean,
we were founded on those. I won't say that religion. Like, I mean, it can be debated. The United States was founded on religion.
We were founded on good ideas.
Religious. Yes, but those are basic principles that you should follow.
Yes, this nation's founded on the best ideas that we could come up with
back then.
Now we gotta change it, and we gotta change it for the better. Now that they're trying to sell off our information out, like now that Vault 7 came out, now they're trying to legally do it, and they passed the bill. There was no vote between us. There was no, hey, let's do at the end of the year we're gonna do a vote for this bill to pass in Congress. That we're gonna no. They just passed it upon themselves. They didn't ask the citizens if it was okay. They didn't ask if it was okay that the government sells off our information so that companies can better market their merchandise to us. I think that's bullshit. People don't realize that our rights are being infringed on when it comes to our personal life.
Yeah.
Like if you have a job in the government, of course, some of those rights are going to go out the door. But if you're a tax-paying citizen,
your Second Amendment rights in California are fucking damn near gone.
Yeah, I want to leave so bad out of California, dude. I don't even want to live here. To be honest with you, I want to go.
It. I love
it's beautiful.
California.
It's beautiful.
I love the politics.
It's fucking garbage.
Paying 5% more taxes than any other state is ridiculous. This dude gives like we have no water, and then he's starting to give our water that we had all this rain to fucking bait fish.
Also,
and he's about to raise taxes again, and it's just getting ridiculous.
And all these
everybody is voting for it. Like, what the fuck are you guys thinking?
It's because
you're like, how come my check sucks? Because you keep voting for stupid shit like a fucking railroad from fucking Bakersfield to Fresno. Like, who the fuck wants to go to Bakersfield?
Fresno.
Think about this shit.
Yeah, nobody
it's a speed rail, bro. It fucking goes fast.
It's supposed to be from LA to San Francisco.
But the two stops are like Bakersfield and Fresno.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like stupid fast.
Who cares?
Like 30 minutes.
Who gives a fuck?
Dude, if I could go to San Francisco, I've never been there and I never plan on going. But if there was an option to get there in 30 minutes, I would go.
It's not 30 minutes, dude.
45. Going at like 200 miles an hour?
No.
Come on.
No, you're not going to get
I listened to the podcast on NPR. Just kidding. All right, we're gonna end this episode right here. We didn't really cover much on ICE and the Nazis, but on
we'll save that for
the next episode that's coming up. There will be a follow-up. The very next, I'm gonna publish this episode tomorrow on a Tuesday. Then on the Thursday, I'm gonna publish the follow-up episode. So you guys make sure you fucking subscribe to my shits. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And might have a buddy to have another perspective too.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully that works out.
Not on the next one.
Maybe.
On the next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the next week. All right, you guys. Don't forget to do that. Follow me on all my social media at GSMH Productions. And
peace, bro.
And subscribe. And leave a comment on iTunes. iTunes is super important. Nobody ever does it. I don't feel loved at all. But whatever. As long as you guys are downloading, and you are. Thanks. And bye.